Wow, Qubit, you guys nailed this one. Like, wow. I'm seriously blown away. Alright, fantastic. Hey everyone, this is Attila from the 16 Bar Studio, and today we are going to do something different. We are going to dissect the Qubit data bender, and we are going to be starting from scratch. So here is the idea. Instead of the usual, pop it in there, make a few sounds with it, we are going to take everything from scratch and we are going to follow the manual, because I know I don't ever read it. Probably a lot of you guys never read the manual, but there is a lot of very, very important information in there. To install, locate 14 HP of space in your Eurorack case and confirm the positive 12 volts and negative 12 volt sides of the power distribution lines. Plug the connector into the power distribution board of your case, keeping in mind that the red band corresponds to negative 12 volts. In most systems, the negative 12 volt supply line is at the bottom. The power cable should be connected to the module with the red band facing the bottom of the module. Don't f this up, because you could fry your data bender. I don't know if it has some sort of a protection circuit in there, but better safe than sorry. So in this first video, we are just gonna go and look around the Ableton session that I created. So this is not necessarily all about the data bender. If you just want to see the stuff that is in fact about the data bender, then you might want to skip ahead to the next video. Okay, so with that out of the way, now that we have the data bender installed in our Mantis case, I basically have an Ableton session that I already set up for you guys, and I want to show you the Ableton session because there are a few caveats in there that you need to know about, just so that you understand exactly what it is that you're hearing and you don't get dazzled by stuff that is not really the data bender's glory moment, if you will. So let's go through the Ableton session real quick, and to make things easier, I inserted an isotope inside, which will have two windows. One of them is a sound field monitor, which is going to show you what the data bender does to the sound in the stereo field. And this plugin, this insight, is sitting on the audio return track of the data bender itself. So whatever this is showing is only the analysis of the audio that's coming from the data bender. So everything else that's going on in the session is not part of this display. So you are basically seeing what you need to be seeing, which is what the data bender is doing to the sound. Okay, so the left part is the sound field, and the right part is a spectrogram, and this is what they look like in operation. So right now the data bender is not doing anything. Once I start tweaking some parameters, and if you keep a look at the left-hand side, take a look at the left-hand side, you see now how it's starting to spread sounds out in the stereo field. Okay, and on the right-hand side, it gives you basically a visual feedback of what's happening to the sound in the frequency field, okay? So there are a couple of layers that I can bring in and out that we're going to be listening to, and I'm going to go through each and every one of those with you right now, again, just so you can see and understand what it is that the data bender is doing. Okay, so first one is a very nice little arpeggio sort of style pluck sound, which is coming from the Mutable Instruments rings. So this is the rings, and I can, from the tetrapad, I can adjust a couple of parameters. The decay and the brightness of the sound. Okay, so that's one sound. The second sound is... And the data bender is not doing anything yet, as of yet, like we have everything just on dry. Okay, A third track is a little bit of a percussion, which is this track number 4, which is I'm using a Production Music Live sample from their FL Studio Tips sample pack. And that sounds as so. That's the top layer of it. So this part here that you're hearing right now, this will go through the data bender. So we're going to be able to mess around with this sound. The other part of this sound, which is just a copy with a high frequency cut, is just a nice kick drum. And last but not least, there's a vocal loop. You define a genre, which is my own voice. Anyway? Is this song talking to you? What is it saying? What can you hear? And this again will go through the data bender. Okay, and the very bottom there is a Reese bass line, which I just put in there because I just thought it sounded amazing with the rest of the sound. Other than that, it doesn't really fulfill any other function with respect to how the data bender works. And that's this sound. Now, you might have noticed a slight reverb on all these sounds, and again, that is not coming from the data bender. That is coming from a return channel from Ableton, and I'm sending, so this is the audio return of all the data bender tracks, all the sounds that are going through the data bender, and that audio return is being sent into this return track, which houses a Eventide black hole, which is just a freaking amazing sounding reverb, if you will. Now, some of you might ask, you know, why do you put reverbs on it? Why do you put a bass line on it? Why do you put drums in it? If you are just demoing a data bender unit, why don't you just let it speak on its own? And the reason for that is, well, first of all, I will let it speak on its own, so these sounds are not always gonna be going. And the second reason is because I want to show it to you how it works in the context of a production, not just on its own.